Folks, for the 100th time here at Wolf TV, welcome to You Say Maize, I Say Blue. I am your host, Chris Cishon, as always, joined by Danny the DJ Sass. Got a great episode here planned out, Danny. It is the 100th show of You Say Maize, I Say Blue.
Apparently this is a pretty big deal, you know. It's not every day you hit that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a milestone here at Wolf TV.
A big milestone.
Show's been on the air since 2003. Now it's 5 years later in 08. We're still going strong. Also, the Super Bowl happens to be this weekend, so just a huge mega show here at You Say Maize this week.
What's the Super Bowl?
It's where they throw that ball around and a whole bunch of million people watch, and we'll talk about it. We'll get to it in a minute. But you know how we start the show? That's good. You can go ahead and say maize. I'm going to say blue, as in 100 episodes into the show. I still can't believe I can't find a good rhyme for blue.
Well, you can go ahead and say blue. I'm going to say maize, and I am amazed that after 100 episodes, you can't come up with something a little clever. You can throw a Blue Moon reference in there, anything.
That's all been used on the show. If you were watching the first 100 episodes, you'd know that. There's no other possible word.
Chris Hall's Bloomin' Onion reference still remains my favorite, but he attributed it to Damon's and not Outback, which still boggles my mind. How do you not know the Bloomin' Onions?
That is weird, Danny. The clock has started.
Ridiculous.
We have to jump into the rundown. Like you said, Super Bowl, big game, Sunday, 6:30. We'll be watching. Let's first talk about the New England Patriots, AFC champions, Danny, going for the 4th Super Bowl title in 7 years. If they win this game, Danny, they're going to go down as the greatest team, in my mind, in pro sports history. The greatest football team ever to lace them up. Just a model of what a team and a model of what a good play is all about in professional sports in this country. Would you say so?
Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing with the Patriots, though, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later, is that the season is semi-tainted, and I'm not going to say,
Let's not go there, Danny.
I'm not going to say it's a complete fraud, but there are people out there who will say...
Like Jets fans.
No, not just Jets fans. You can look around the NFL. There are teams that will say that this is a tainted season. I'm not saying I agree with that. I am a Jets fan, as you know, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but a little bit has been lost. All things considered, that's not what people are talking about right now. That's long gone, the whole cheating gate scandal, whatever we want to call it now.
Right. There's a new gate in town, the boot gate, I believe.
Yes, Tom Brady's boot. And even that, I don't think is a big story. I guess we'll talk about that a little more later as well.
Right.
I think the biggest issue concerning the Patriots right now is how they get Randy Moss back involved in this offense. If we're going to look at it from a pure football perspective, we all know Brady's going to play. We all know Brady's going to be fine. He's going to be healthy. He's going to have a Tom Brady performance. It's whether or not his receivers can step up, because we've seen Randy Moss disappear. We've seen double teams work. Can a guy like Wes Welker run free in a Super Bowl? You have to hope so.
Sure, he only has 2 catches in 2 games in the playoffs, but what does that matter? Aren't they still here? They still won both of those games, I'm pretty sure, Danny. Because
not a very nice, that was not a juggernaut offensive performance.
Well, this is the postseason. You're not going to see those blowouts anymore, Danny. They've got 16, 18 games worth of film to watch on the Patriots, the Giants do. There's no way they should get blown out. If they do, it's an embarrassment to themselves. They got guys Welker, Stallworth, Gaffney, Ben Watson, the tight end. They got plenty of options to go to. I don't think that's going to be a big problem. My concern for the Patriots is that defense. Last time they played the Giants, and back in Week 17, they gave up 35 points to the Giants, their worst showing of the season. I think if they do that again, they don't have a chance if they give up 35 points.
Big, tall receiver, Plaxico Burress, 2-headed running back. They're going to cause problems if they can wear down that linebacking core. That's an old linebacking core. Seau, Brewski, that's an old core.
Well, you started talking about some Giants names there. I mean,
what are we looking for with the Giants? This is a team that's coming off 3 road wins. Last team to do that was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ended up winning the Super Bowl. That was in 2005. Can the Giants do it as well?
I think they can. I mean, this is going to be a very close, tightly played game. I think the Giants, they have the staff to match up with New England. The thing for me is, though, first of all, Eli Manning, the quarterback. How is he going to perform? Is he going to play like he's played in these playoffs, or is he going to play like he did early in the year when he was, erratic, on and off? We have to see. And then also the Giants, how are they going to show up in this big game, the big stage? Again, they know that they can beat this team. They almost did it. They lost by a measly 3 points in the Meadowlands. And
I would say that I would point to that game and say that's when Eli Manning really turned his season around. You remember he was coming off a couple of really rough performances, and I think the Giants go as Eli goes. I think he's the leader of this team, obviously, as a quarterback. He's the focal point of every media member, every defense, every coach is looking to see how Eli Manning is going to carry himself in this game. If he looks like a nervous little kid out there, scared to be in the spotlight, I don't think the Giants stand a chance. If he comes out confident, and he has to complete his first couple of passes, if he starts this game with a 3-and-out,
he's going to start whining and crying.
He's got to get the ball to Plaxico Burress. He's got to spread the ball around. Amani Toomer, a veteran, he was on this Giants team that went to a Super Bowl just a couple of years ago. Eli has to get poised early, throw a couple balls underneath, and trust those running backs. Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw.
That's what they're going to have to do. They have to run the ball, Danny.
Trust the running backs, because you can't beat the Patriots unless you kill clock. And you can't kill clock unless you have a running game.
I was just going to bring that up. Stat of the game back in Week 17. Time of possession, New England 36 minutes. The Giants 23 minutes.
And the Giants were very close to winning that game. And keep in mind, a lot of the times the Giants scored but almost too quickly for their own good. You know, in the fourth quarter, they couldn't sustain the drive. They got some points, but they couldn't grind out a 7, 8, 9-minute drive.
They're not going to be able to air it out back and forth with this New England. We know that. Teams have tried to do that with New England. It's just not possible. They have to run the ball. In the first game, Brandon Jacobs did have about 70 yards on the ground, but it was only on 15 carries. Give me 70 yards and 30 carries. That'll make a huge difference for this team. Keep the offense on the field. Keep your defense off. I know that secondary's banged up. A lot of guys are sick, I'm hearing, from the flight over to Arizona. Flu bug going around with the Giants. That secondary, I think, has a possibility to get picked apart, and this could be a blowout very easily if they don't play the best game of their lives.
I think the Giants secondary has improved a lot, and I think you point to Terrell Owens. They shut down T.O. Corey Webster, who hadn't done a thing in the regular season, filling in, getting
a
physical.
third-string corner.
Yeah, you know, with Sam Madison out. I think they can do this. They just need to play poised. And if I'm going to go ahead and go past the horn here a little bit. If the Patriots like that quick strike offense, the Giants have to realize they can put 7 on the board just as easily and just as quickly as New England. They have their home run threat in Plaxico. They're going to have to use them.
Yeah, we'll see. And
that brings us into the matchups.
And we just want to look at a few matchups. My thing is this: forget about offense and defense. In my book, New England wins every single matchup in this game, Danny.
Even special teams?
Everything, because they're just the better team. How else would they get to this record of 18-0? I just think they're that good. Here's where it comes down to: you got the Giants' momentum on one hand, and you got New England's history on one hand. Those two full-headed steam trains are going to meet on Sunday at 6:30 on the field. Whichever one is running the hardest, running the strongest, that's the one that's going to win this game. And I think it's going to be New England. I think they just have everything behind them. They've gotten this far. It is a team on a mission, Danny. Belichick will not
agree with you. New
England
is the better team, but look at what the Giants have been doing lately, and you got to look what it all starts with, Chris, is this team was 0-2 to start the season and getting no pressure up front on any quarterback. Brett Favre stayed clean second week of the season. The Giants had nothing going. Tony Romo stayed clean in week 1. And then that defense, Steve Spagnuolo's defense, learned how to pass rush. Yeah. And wow, look at this. You have guys coming off the end. You have Osi Umenyiora. You have Michael Strahan coming off each end. Yep. Justin Tuck, who's a third defensive end on this team, has 10 sacks. When you have these kind of guys coming in that can rush from the middle, you employ 3 ends, put Tuck in the middle, you have an interior rusher, 2 outside rushers, you can create havoc on a quarterback. They only sacked Brady once in week 17. They're really going to have to get to him quickly. I think the Giants can get physical on defense, play a little bump and run on some of these bigger receivers, and really make this an interesting game, get a little bit physical.
Here's my thing, Danny. I don't think any of us have seen the team that we're about to see from New England come Sunday. Sure, we saw them in the regular season. We saw them the last couple times in the playoffs. That's not to me the team we're going to see. We're going to see a team that comes out so focused, so ready to play, playing the best games of their lives, because they know if they lose this game, the whole season, 18-0, means absolutely nothing.
Well,
that's
keep
how
in mind the Giants aren't just happy to be there. They're going to win.
Yeah,
they're playing to win
they
this game
also haven't seen a team like the Patriots that they're going to see.
Strahan, these guys remember what happened in 2000. They got embarrassed by the Baltimore Ravens. They're not about to let it happen again.
It could possibly happen again this week.
But we're done talking football for the time being. We're going to move on over to another embarrassing weekend, this one courtesy of Little Brother. What happened to Michigan hockey, Chris, and where do they go from here?
Well, I mean, they had, a 10-game winning streak heading in, and they played Michigan State at home on Friday night. They lose 1-0 to State. Then they go back and they salvage a 2-2 tie Saturday night up in Munn and East Lansing. To me, Danny, it just looked like this Michigan hockey team did not come out and play like they thought that they could win the game. I mean, yes, they're going up against the defending NCAA champions and champions. I can't talk.
There you go.
Telling you, the champions in Michigan State, and they can't. It just didn't seem like they expected to win. They're on home ice. They had the bad turnovers. Sauer wasn't looking as sharp. They're making bad mistakes. They just didn't look like they were as sharp as they were in
Chris,
that
I would have bet you $100 after Michigan State scored that first goal on Friday that game ended 1-0. You could just tell.
Yeah.
The way the Spartans were playing on defense, bringing all their guys back in front of their goal, blocking shots before they even got to Jeff Lurg, it just felt like Michigan would not be able to score. And then you compound that with the fact that they were not getting calls. They were not getting man advantages, and what you're left with is a team playing neutralized hockey against a team that's equally as physical, equally as strong, and the talent level, while I would give a slight edge to Michigan, you have plenty of guys on Michigan State, Abdelkader, Lurg, to name a few, who are top-notch hockey players.
Yep.
Unlike anything we've seen this year as Michigan hockey supporters, and what ends up happening is you can't put the puck in the net. Yeah. It's a great way to neutralize an offense.
Yeah, well,
good tie, though. Good tie. They needed that goal.
Very good tie. They got Northern this weekend, and then they got the big one at Miami. That's going to be huge.